And she ain't budging at all.
Plan B.
That was my plan B. Dude, you get that sledgehammer over there and give her a couple licks. Well, that idea got us part of the way. I guess it's on the plan C. Plan C is a smoke wrench.
Can't be tight if it's liquid.
All right, plan D or E, I've lost track. We got it about, moved about halfway off the shaft, but not going anymore. Plus we're hitting on it and just flaring it out. I've had to grind the ends off quite a bit. And as we get closer, that's just problems just gonna get worse and finally it's gonna get stuck. So what I'm gonna do is, I made marks to where my puller can line up on the pulley. Then I'm gonna take my plasma torch and cut out some holes there for my puller to go through, where I can grab on the back side and then yank it off. And then I don't know if I might just get some strap steel or something and weld around it after we get it back on, or if I think it's gonna be strong enough, I might just leave it like it is and leave it open for the next time we gotta pull it off. Something gonna give. I hope it's the pulley. Oh, she resisted still.
I think it was tight.
Well, folks, we might have ruined the pulley in your opinion, but we got it off and with no boogering of the shaft. Like I said, even if we ruined the pulley, it's still better than cutting it off. One thing I learned in my years of farming, there's always a way. You got to figure that way out. Now tell me, why can't they design it from the factory that way? 3 nice little holes in there to grab on the back side of the puller. All right, got everything off of this side, but gonna have to wait to put it back because I had to put the gear puller on that last bearing, and the only thing I can hook it to is this, and pulled the bearing through that, so flared it out. So I'm gonna get a new one of those, and no one's got one in stock. So we're going to have to finish this part up tomorrow. All right, Andy, I'm gonna let you pick the next difficult job that we can tackle. Got 2 choices. The rotary screen up there, we can pull it off and replace the brushes, or we can pull the bottom of this unloading gearbox off and replace the seal.
They both just seem like loads of fun, so I've never done that one or that one, so.
I've done that one over there, I've never done this one.
Well, you can try this one if you want to. Got a little bit of daytime left. You don't think we can? Is that whole auger gonna drop out of there?
No, what I'm thinking we can do is get a 2x4 or metal pole and shove it up under the flighting into where the horizontal auger comes off, and it'll rest on the top part of this brace to hold that auger up there. And then, I mean, all we gotta do is take the chain off and unbolt it, and hopefully it'll drop on down and it's not frozen onto the shaft. That's what I'm hoping. It's not gonna be light, but I don't think it's gonna be any heavier than what the hydrostat motor was.
Good to try this one if you want to.
I think this will be the little bit of the harder one, so we'll save the easiest jobs for Friday. All right, we got the chain off here. We got a bar stuck in there to keep the auger from falling out. Now we're ready to pull it off. All right, don't take this all the way off. Leave a few threads holding it, and then I'll take this one, zap this one off, and I'll try and hold it up while you take that one off. We're never gonna find all these washers and bolts. Or wrenches. Let's go ahead and get this sealed out of the way. God bless. All right, here goes. That's not a promising sign. It still froze up there.
We'll grab the plastic here. It's loose on this side.
All right, let me go get something to persuade it with. There she goes. Let me reposition this, get up under it as vertically as I can. And then prepare to get down quickly and help me let it down. All right.
She should be yours.
Alright, there it goes. That ain't bad. It'll be a whole lot harder getting it up there though. Alright, what we're looking at here is the bottom gearbox on the unloading auger, and last year noticed some water getting into the oil, so we got a seal down in there that's getting bad and letting moisture get into the oil. So got to pull this off, and I think the seal's just right there. Pop it out, pop a new one in, get it cleaned up good. All right, we got 3 of the screws broke loose. Last one was rounded out. We got him broke loose. This is the last one. Hopefully we can get it without completely rounding it off. God dang. Boy, that one's froze in there. Oh, it slipped. Nope, it ain't gonna do it. All right, pray that weld holds and don't break loose, but I bet it snaps off. Oh, look at there.
Wow.
Magic. Yeah, that oil don't look too good. Don't smell good when it's burning either. I'm guessing this is a cap that's just got to pop out. I don't know for sure. Might go look at the parts diagram. I'm not exactly sure how that works. All right, that's part of the first step. Need somebody to get up under there and prise it up. Hey, hand me them big needle nose vice grips out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it comes out.
How you do it? Just hit a big pair of needles.
All right, so the seal's pressed in there. All right, you want to take this thing outside and dump it Get all that old oil out of it. Well, did you take any of that chocolate pudding home to come out of there for dessert tonight?
No, I did not, but there was plenty to share.
It was nasty, wasn't it? Well, he got that cleaned up. Looking there, yeah, I don't like the looks of that bearing right there at all. That's rusty. Didn't know that much moisture leaked down in there, but it did. Plus, that shaft don't look like it's in the best condition either. Looks like it's kind of been chewed up, which is not going to let the seal up real good. Well, crap, this is another project we can't finish today.
Keep having that happen, man.
That's becoming a common theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sense putting that brand new seal in there when, I mean, that's just rough as it can be. That bearing must have gone down at some time and they should have replaced the shaft, and they did. I mean, look, you can tell it's boogered up there. I mean, that's just going to continue to let moisture get down there. That bearing's probably not going to last too much longer either.
We're going to be doing this again?
No, we're not going to be doing this again, so we're going to do it right this time.
Yep.
All right, see what's going to take this thing apart. All right, well, after consulting with my mechanic friend, he agrees that bearing definitely needs to be replaced along with the shaft, and he tells me that the shaft just pops up out of here. It just sits in the gear at the bottom, so we'll see how easy this is going to be.
Oh, wow.
Yep. That's all it takes. Yeah, I don't think that bearing would have made it much longer.
Nope.
That's pretty rough.
Just
to be on the safe side, we probably need to go ahead and take that plate off just to check everything. If we're gone this far, we might as well check it all. Yeah, 8 bolts probably, 13 millimeter, I'm guessing. Oh yeah, that bearing's solid. We'll leave it out and clean it up a little more though. All right, back to the computer to track down more part numbers. All right, just lay it on the side and we'll call it a day.
I'm having a blast.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm ruining some clothes right here.
Yeah, I'm keeping my outside layer dirty as I can get it. So.
All right, well, we'll see what Friday brings tomorrow.
All right.
Hopefully be some available parts and we can actually start putting some stuff back together again instead of just taking stuff apart. Yeah. Before we forget how all this stuff goes back together. All right, finally got back from parts store. Luckily they had the shaft and bearing in stock, so we can go back together with this now. So we got a brand new shaft, looks a lot better than the old one. Bearing on. We got the right shim down there. We already got our bottom bearing and gear in there. All that stuff looked pristine. So we're ready to slide this in. Splines lined up here. There we go. All right, and then we got to do this kind of differently than what a normal tapered bearing is. We got to now knock our race in. We don't want to knock it down too far on there and get the wrong preload. All right, now we got to use our, because this has got a lip on it, this is going to press down on the bearing even more. You got to put this on here and use this to drive it down the rest of the way. All right, we got just a little bit of backlash there. So I think that's about the perfect tension. Pull that back out and then we're gonna put some anaerobic gasket maker around in there to seal it up, keep moisture from seeping around there. All right, got that in there. Now I think we're ready to go back in. All right, we got a new package of bolts, so we don't have to go back with the old stripped ones. I'm gonna put a little silicone down in the, put a little gasket maker down in the holes so no water seeps in around the bolts there. You might ask, well, this is your unloading gearbox. Why are you so concerned about water? Isn't it in a dry spot? Well, the problem is that, you know, this gearbox is going to be at the bottom of the unloading auger that the grain tank also drains into. And if during harvest season, if it's got parked outside, and it rains, you know, that's how water might get introduced into the top of this gearbox and then come on down into it. All right, we had to take a break there because I was having some confusion. I couldn't quite remember where shims and stuff went, so had to call my buddy at H&R just to make sure. So, all right, we got shim on top of the bearing. Now we're ready to put this back down in there. All right, we want to tighten in the crisscross pattern just like a wheel, because this is you know, also helping seat that bearing. Let's make sure we still got backlash. Oh yeah, perfect. Now there's supposed to be a snap ring. Try figure out where I put it. There it is. Now this is the part that I don't agree with. You got a snap ring here, doesn't hold anything in. It goes in this groove right here. Where the freak did my gear go? I apologize if this repair seemed all jumbled up. I've been doing this so many different stages, stopped and start, and now I got to a point, there's a big gear that goes on here that I had right before lunch, and for the life of me, I was cleaning it up. For the life of me, I have no idea where it went to. Y'all ever have this problem where literally you lose your head even though it's attached to your body? Like seems like all I do all day long is going back behind myself looking for stuff that I've placed down and I can't remember where I put it. Y'all have this problem? Or is it just me? I mean, we worked really good to try and keep our work area clean first part of this year, and I swear it's just this problem is getting worse and worse and worse, of where I don't know where the heck I put something. 20 minutes later I remembered putting the parts washer to soak so I could clean it up even more. All right, hopefully after the last debacle, we are ready to finish assembling this. With everything else we put together, put a good liberal coating of anti-seize on there, make it easier the next time we gotta do this job. And what I don't like about this design is this thing's supposed to rest on that snap ring, and you got the weight of the auger pushing down on here too. I just don't know about that. I mean, the snap ring wasn't on there whenever we took the thing off. It just seemed like it needed a lot more support than that to me. All right, had to go double check the parts diagram. This only supposed to have one washer under it, whereas when I took it off, it had these 3 other washers on it. Probably because when whoever put this back together last did not have this snap ring up under here, and this shaft was farther down on there, and they had this taking up the gap. So whoever did the work on this last time definitely screwed it up and did not do it right. Therefore, I'm having to do it again today. But I do believe this is put back together just like it's supposed to be. Now, hopefully it won't give us any problems in the future. All right, she turns. It's a little tighter than what I want, but I called my mechanic friend about it, and he said as long as you can turn this sprocket by hand, it is fine. You know, I did have to take this back apart and take this shim out and then pop the race back out a little bit because it's definitely too tight when I tighten this up. But now I've taken everything out that I can, and I'm sure as that bearing wears in, it'll free up some more slack. So put some oil in this and bolt it back up and it'll be ready to go. Well, since it's a beautiful day outside, Andy's out spraying yards while I'm getting some of this stuff put back together. So we'll probably be Monday before we manhandle this thing back onto the bottom of the unloading auger. All right, this morning we also got the bearing flange that I ruined getting the bearing off, so ready to go back with this impeller on the tailings processor. All right, we've also got to put our well, before I do that, I need to put our lock collar and spinny thing for the sensor back on there. Alright, got that locked on there. Alright, got the keyway and the shaft on my pulley cleaned up real good. Alright, I just have an inch of shaft showing. There she goes. Alright, got everything back together and tightened on it. Just got to put this bearing back together when I slide it back on the returns there. I'm going to leave those 3 holes just like that. Maybe the next owner of this combine happens to be watching this video, and you know, when he has to take this apart, he's going to look at those 3 holes and said, man, that's a good idea. I'm glad Matt did that. Sure, it's so much easier to get off now. All right, let's get this bad boy in here. One trick someone showed me, because I got a bearing that goes through a flange right here, and it's got to go into these holes, and it's going to be hard to hold it up and get everything lined up and get the bolts through. Trick someone told me was to go ahead and put your bolts through, and then put some rubber O-rings around the bolts to kind of hold everything together. So you try and get it lined up and push through there. Hopefully you don't push the bolts out. Do like that. Let me get my nuts and washers on the back side. Can't even hardly see back here. Got to do it by feel. Oh no. Sitting on the heads of these bolts here, this pulley needs to go back over the other way just a little bit. Let's see if that nudge did just enough. I want to loosen this up and knock it back a little bit. This right here needs to be shifted over. I've knocked the shaft out, but it's just sliding in there. All right, well, no luck on this. That ain't gonna work, but I put it back the way it come off, but I guess in all assembling, something shifted anyway. There's a spacer right here, one spacer right there, and there's 3 spacers right here. So what they do is completely redisassemble all this, take this spacer and put it over here to shift this fan over that way, because right now it's hitting on the heads of these bolts right here. You can see real close tolerance, whereas over here I can stick my finger down in there. So I need to shift this over that way, and I think by swapping those spacers around, that ought to do it. But dadgum, I don't want to have to. I hate we're having to redo something I just did, but at least all this stuff should come apart pretty easy this time though, so maybe it won't take too long. But that'll be something we'll do Monday morning. It's 5:30 on Friday. This old boy's heading to the house.